It is 12:59. Good afternoon from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. I'm Lucas Panzica. Tennessee still alive in the College World Series in Omaha. They rallied from down 4-0 against Stanford yesterday to win 6-4 and eliminate the Cardinal. And up next, the Vols take on LSU tonight. Another elimination game as the Tigers fell to top-seeded Wake Forest on Monday. First pitch at 6 p.m. Drew Beam likely getting the start on the mound for Tennessee. It's the second matchup between the two teams in Omaha. LSU beat Tennessee 6-3 on Saturday. You can hear the Vol Network call right here on The Zone. About to throw first pitch in an elimination game will be TCU and Oral Roberts coming up in just a couple of minutes. All quiet on the DeAndre Hopkins front after visiting the Titans and Patriots over the course of the last 2 weeks. Mike Giardi reporting that Hopkins is in no rush to make a decision and would be happy to wait until training camp. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. I almost said happy Monday. It's Monday somewhere, maybe. It is Monday for us. It's Tuesday, though, so happy Tuesday. Hope you got your raincoat on today. It rains somewhere all the time. You're not a raincoat guy. You just...
Yeah, I got my Army fatigue one.
I thought you were going to say, don't take a raincoat.
I did not bring it today, but I got a hat, so I got my Indy hat. So, yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah, story's out, man. You're back in the coaching game.
Yeah. I said something last week about I've been going these morning workouts, man. 6 to 8. Yeah, for the last couple months. That's the dead periods at the end of this month.
You'd be waiting for that.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that. Man. I had to go on vacation there, but yeah, it's been fun, man. Just working with the kids again and kind of get back into a groove, man. So we'll see what we can do there. See if they can be competitive there at Independence. They got a really, really tough team. Definitely probably not the most talented, but as you know, in high school football, you have to have the most talented players to win and even win state. So, yeah, I'm hoping we'll be on that trajectory.
How much do you find yourself when they're doing something that you're kind of doing it along with them? Like... Or you're kind of physically throwing yourself into it? Because I'm thinking, I don't know if they make enough ace bandages and, liniment for me to rub on my aching joints if I tried to really get out there and get after it with somebody.
Well, I'm not doing a lot like that. I'm actually more so focused on the cornerbacks because that's what I played in high school and college, and that's where they really needed to help to develop some younger players that are going to be sophomores. That's going to have to contribute. So that's kind of where I've been focused. So me moving out there is not strapping it up and hitting people and being physical, more being a technician, teaching them techniques, how to be, the game within the game, if you want to talk about that part of it, and then just do what's required. Mm-hmm. And then everything else at corners already is hard enough. So just try to, if they call cover 3, then you don't want to be beat deep. Mm-hmm. So let's say, disguise some things, make some things look the same as some of our other coverages. Hopefully that'll help you out. And then play the game from there. So, it's pretty tough. Things are different in high school, even though they're, even college, is that certain things you do in the pros, you can't teach that because they can't do it. Mm-hmm. One thing is, let's say, give an example of that is 3-step drop. I learned this when I was at Davidson Academy when I was in 2011, when I was a DC there. Well, 3-step drop, in the pros, the corner looks at the quarterback and then gets his eyes back to the receiver. Well, in high school, they can't do that. They got to just watch the receiver. Mm. They can't go from there to there and then back to their guy. It's just not going to happen. So that was a lesson I learned in practice. So I was quickly to adjust and do that. So now I'm already ahead of the game on the quick game. And, so just little things like that, little nuances. But it's been fun, though, man. Keeping me spry and running around, man. Yeah. A couple of times I had to make sure I had to go take some Advil. Nah. But, it keeps me going, though. It keeps my juices flowing.
Yeah.
So another thing that keeps me attached to sports and something that I love, sports in general, not just football. So anybody knows my background. I play basketball, football, baseball, track. All of them. So I
don't
love
forget
all of them.
swimming and diving.
Well, yeah, swimming and
Swim
diving.
man. Before he was the hit man, he was the swim man.
Yeah, well, swimming was my favorite sport, so I really thought I was going to be an Olympian until I realized I wasn't. So I was like, yeah, well, I got to stick with football. But all that swimming actually, I think, really helped me. Just full body, my development of my legs, my power, all those things. So it was very beneficial looking back on it. And then I used those workouts all for my off-season workouts, even with track workouts, mix going back and forth with swimming and track for my off-season workouts, let alone the weight room and all that. But, yeah.
See, there is a theme here, too, though. Anytime I played a bunch of sports and done well, but
you played them all.
But I played everything I could play.
You great at them. I mean,
and
I
loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
But you were a guy who would eventually go on and play in the NFL. But
nobody would have predicted that from high school. Trust me.
But
even though I was all state and all everything, I wouldn't even have predicted that.
Diving, basketball. You didn't just do one thing.
Yeah.
You did a bunch of different stuff.
Sports.
And it seems like a lot of people don't want to do that anymore.
Well, it's harder to do it now with all the
travel stuff,
the travel ball and stuff. So what I would recommend, because I get this question all the time. I was a 3-sport athlete, so I would say try to at least do 2.
Mm-hmm.
Try to at least do 2, and then maybe you can mix in there whatever one is more important to you. In the travel ball, or now you have camps. These off-season camps. You're a football player, so that was one of the reasons why my son stopped baseball. I wanted him to keep on. I wanted him to go the opposite. I wanted him to stick with baseball and not do football. Well, he was saying he was missing all the summer camps. I'm like, well, you missing summer camps for baseball too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather for you go to the summer camps in baseball. He said, nope, I'm done with doing that. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if that's what you want to do. Because if it was my option, that's what I would have done.
Did you show him Jeff Samardzija's career earnings versus Megatron, where he'd made have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
Jeff Samardzija picked baseball over football and was an okay pitcher. And
he was an okay pitcher, great receiver, by the way. He may not have been a number 1 on Notre Dame because they had somebody else who was really good 1 years, but he was an NFL pro. He would have been in the NFL. He got drafted, didn't he? He made like $30 more million than Megatron in his career. As a baseball player, not football. He got drafted though in football though, right? I know he did.
What was the name?
But Jeff Samardzija.
Yeah, from Notre Dame.
Don't ask me to spell it. He went to Notre Dame.
You don't even know who that is? You do not.
Well, okay, what era are we talking about?
No, like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
Jeff Samardzija. I'm trying to think who the other receiver. They had another good receiver 1 year with him, but then his senior year, he was the guy. He was the main guy at Notre Dame. But he's been an incredible pitcher, just solid, and he made a boatload of money.
He was a finalist for the Bolitnikoff Award twice in 05 and 06.
Yep, it was his junior and senior year.
Yeah, and he took his name out of the NFL draft and just went straight into baseball.
People were saying, Blaine, he was going to be a second-round pick in the NFL.
In the NFL. They said second, third round at the late because he had size and he had speed. What was he, like 6'3" or something?
This was 07. He was
6'4", 233.
Yes, he was up there, and he could run.
Career ended 3 years ago.
You know who he reminded me of? He was a thicker Drew Bennett. Yeah, this dude could play now. I mean, it was not a big-time corner that he did not get after. I was like, dang, I don't know if because I had never watched. Nobody was watching baseball then at that time on TV. It was not a lot of.
Was it on TV?
Yeah, not a lot. Notre Dame had a good program in baseball. But
you're talking about college baseball.
Yes, college baseball. And so I didn't know how good he was. I was like, well, dang, he's gonna pick baseball over football? I'm like, I don't know. Then they said, well, he's a pitcher, and I'm like, well, how good is he? So I watched one game, and I thought, that game he kind of got beat up a little bit. He didn't have a great outing, but I could see what they were saying, and then see where he got. Did he get drafted first round or was it top 3 rounds in baseball? Because he got somebody he hoodwinked him there.
He actually got drafted in the. I got it.
He was a great player, man. You go look up his
5th round pick.
He was a 5th round baseball pick
in 2006 to Chicago.
Yeah,
to the Cubs.
Yeah, I know he started second guessing himself at that, going that later like that. But man, you got to go look up his highlights, man. He was a really good receiver. I mean, when I say Drew Bennett, I'm talking about Drew Bennett in his prime with some muscle to him. This guy was built up.
Okay, he made Lucas, if you can find this, Megatron career earnings. Jeff Samardzija he played from 2007 until 2020 in the big leagues, and didn't do a whole lot early on with the Cubs. Kind of had a decent run in the middle of his career. He made he was a one-time All-Star.
And that's when he got paid too that year.
Then
I think he made $130 million. He did some big contract. I remember.
Made $122.
To me, I remember. I was like, "Oh my god!"
$0.7 million.
According to Spot Track, Calvin Johnson made nearly $114 million throughout his career.
So Samardzija made. I thought the discrepancy was a little more, but it was still about $10 million more that he made.
Yeah.
Than Megatron, who is moonwalk into the Hall of Fame level NFL caliber player,
who did retire somewhat early for what it's worth.
In 9 years, right?
He retired he went 07 to 15.
Yeah. Now, I can't say he would have had Megatron's career in football, but I thought he would have been a really, really good wide receiver, probably eventually a number 2 for sure. I'm always going to lean on he probably could have been a number 1 at some point, but man, this guy was a great athlete. Man, he made the right choice though. And he was a pitcher too, so it made it a little bit easier. If he was any other position, I bet people would have said, man, I think you better just go and play football. But man, yeah.
This dude caught 77 passes his junior year, 15 TDs. Then his senior year, 78 and 12 touchdowns. All-time fighting Irish leader in reception yards.
Yeah.
All-American following 2016. Yeah.
Let's think about this now, theoretically. You were an All-American in college football at one position, and I don't even know if he made all-conference in baseball or independent or ACC or whatever they were in baseball. Did he make? He didn't make All-American in baseball, did he?
He was.
There's no way.
He was freshman All-American, which he was freshman All-American
as a pitcher.
As a pitcher, but it doesn't say that he ever
anything after that.
No.
Okay.
No.
And a lot of it is because he probably wasn't doing baseball year-round. Think about that now. He was up there doing football at the beginning of the season, and that's part of your development. And you become a pro when you do something year-round in college sports. So I kind of probably hindered his development a little bit. But, man, that's pretty phenomenal. If you can do 2 sports, that's what led us to this conversation. If you can do 2 in high school now, I think that's pretty formidable. Then you'll have to make a choice to the end.
Well, that rascal.
Dang, Jeff Samardzija. Wow, he was a bad dude.
I didn't think we'd be talking about him today.
I remember him everything.
Oh, we got to try to remember who was the other guy opposite him.
Well, his junior year, it was somebody really good too. I would say they were a hair better, but on any given day, Samardzija could have been better than him. Nobody knows Notre Dame football around here, do they?
I don't know. You're from Indiana, man.
Yeah. My man, Paul Grassmanis, played with me in the Eagles. He went to Notre Dame. He's always texting me. I'm surprised he hadn't texted me. He must not be listening today.
Oh, I'm about to tell you who it was.
Yeah, Lucas is on the phone. Somebody probably telling him. Probably not.
Dan and Gallatin wanted to tell me that Jeff went to Valparaiso High School in Indiana.
Mari Stovall.
Samardzija?
Samardzija did, yeah.
Wow, he went to Valparaiso High School? Well, I've only been to Valparaiso one time.
Hey, Mari Stovall was the other guy.
Oh, I thought it was a bigger name guy.
Mari Stovall.
What was his stats though?
He was 69 catches for 1,149 yards and 11 touchdowns.
Yeah, he get drafted. I think
surely he did.
I think he went 3rd round. I'm gonna keep saying 3rd round.
Stovall's 3rd round.
Yeah, baby.
To the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Boom.
Look at you, man. Mari Stovall NFL stats. I don't know how long that lasted.
I don't even remember.
Oh, he stuck around till he was 27. He played 7 years.
Oh, dang, he got drafted when he was 20?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tampa, Detroit, and Jacksonville. Hey, man, 7 years in the NFL, not too shabby. We got not 7 years left, but we got the rest of this hour and all of next hour, and Coach Mack is going to join us. We'll do Ding Dong of the Week coming up next. You got a Ding Dong. There are many candidates that you would like to do. Normally you do it on Monday, but since this is our Monday, we will bring out our Ding Dongs of the Week. I have a wild story involving Ole Miss and craziness and ding-dongery, and I can't wait to share it with you guys next. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Hey, what's going on? Happy Tuesday to you. Thanks for spending your time with us. Hope you're not being a ding-dong today. Ding-dong of the week brought to you by markspain.com, Mark Spain Real Estate. Go to markspain.com today. Get a guaranteed offer on your home. Do it now and start packing. That's what they say. Or as we like to say, don't be a ding-dong. Use Mark Spain. I got a couple of ding-dongs today. Let's let Eric go. Eric typically leads us off. You got a ding-dong you want to share, jump in the mix, 615-737-1045. Hit us up on Twitter at Blaine and Mickey. Follow us on Twitter at Blaine and Mickey. Same handle on Instagram at Blaine and Mickey, or in the FNM Bank chat. If you're watching online, just drop a ding-dong in the chat for us. But, Eric, you will lead us off as always. Thanks for the phone call, man.
Hey, guys, before I get to my ding-dongs, a couple things. First of all, I hope all the dads out there had a great Father's Day and everybody enjoyed the holiday of Juneteenth. But I got to say this, guys. I want to say a special thank you to guys for Friday. Dwan Buford is my cousin, so I had to say this, guys, just for the Vols radio station, supporting him in his business with State Farm. And also shout out to PHL. They interviewed him on the air Friday. Just so thankful and proud that he's my cousin and just everything that he does in the community. So I had to get that out there, guys.
A-plus guy for sure, man.
No doubt. Yeah, he definitely is. So here's my ding-dongs, guys. I got a couple. First one, sports-related. This is all-encompassing involving the Denver Nuggets. You had the shooting that happened after the game, championship game, where they won the championship because it was involved with a drug deal that went bad. Then during the parade, you had another shooting. You had Nikola Djokovic, his wife, getting hit in the face with a beer can, and a police officer that got run over by a fire truck while he's trying to help with crowd control. It's just so many just different things, and it's just sad that something like that had to happen for a championship celebration. Another ding-dong, guys, this is a non-sports. You may have heard about this. So last week on The Price is Right, a contestant won his pricing game for a trip to Hawaii. In the celebration to celebrate, he dislocated his shoulder, had to get his wife on stage to spin the wheel for him to go to showcase. He went to showcase and won. But how do you dislocate your shoulder in celebrating a win of a pricing game, guys? I mean, I'll tell you what, guys, those are my two ding-dongs. Y'all take care and have a great day.
Injured on The Price is Right. That's a rough way to go right there.
Be worse to get injured and then lose.
Oh, add insult to injury, absolutely. Tyler says in the FNM Bank chat, bunch of good ding-dongs this week. First, Antonio Brown for getting his Albany Empire kicked out of the Arena League. Well, like Arena 2 or 5 or whatever it is. Yeah, their team, they removed them. Second is the Pirates bus driver who was arrested for DUI while driving the team in a police escort.
He took mine.
Oh, that's your ding-dong.
That was it.
Oh, I never even heard of that one.
The Pittsburgh Pirates bus driver who was hired to take the team from Chicago to Milwaukee was arrested and charged with DUI Thursday night, pulled over by Illinois state police troopers for driving erratically. They were on a police escort, but the CBS report says officers noticed the bus was not following the escort, was traveling away from officers. After observing more erratic driving, the bus was pulled over on I-94 where the driver, a 61-year-old man, was observed exhibiting multiple signs of impairment.
Wow.
Man, I feel bad for him. Him and Mr. Huggins. What's the coach that used to be?
Bob Huggins.
Bob Huggins.
Man.
Stepped down.
Oh, man.
He's had a few problematic things in the last few weeks.
But he seems like one of those guys like Daly where he just don't even, I'm 68. I don't care. So I feel like I don't even know
like
why.
John Daly.
It doesn't even, like
just
it doesn't
do whatever
even affect
I want.
Me. Yeah. It's like he says crazy stuff. I mean, he just like, I'm old school. It is what it is, man. Whatever. I hope we get some help, though, because it's been a few incidents there. So that's for sure. What was this Atlanta Braves one here?
Scheduling Charlie Culberson. Oh, so they had this guy who's a reserve. I read about this. This was Tyler with a third ding-dong in the FNM Bank chat. Charlie Culberson is like a journeyman Major League Baseball player. He was with the Braves a couple of years ago. He's played, I don't know, he's played a couple 300 games over the years. He's in his 30s now. He's been on the Braves for a few weeks, but has not played. So I guess for Father's Day, he's local. He's from somewhere right around Atlanta.
Okay.
So they had his dad scheduled to come in and throw the first pitch
on Father's Day.
On Father's Day. And then they sent him back to the minors They designated him for assignment and sent him back before the game.
Well, he was saying it's not personal. This is just business.
Just business. So I had to get another player's dad out of the stands to throw.
No,
Yes,
so they still didn't use the dad?
No, his dad lost his chance too. The dad didn't get to throw, and he didn't get to go.
That's a topic in itself. Just because the son was taken off the team, that was the dad's opportunity to shine, man. Do you walk away like he did, or do you say, no, I still get the pitch if they were going to let him pitch?
You got to still throw it out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Your son's played for the Braves before. He was there 2 years.
You probably from the area, too.
Yes, they're from the area.
I have to do it. You wouldn't have done it?
I don't know.
Oh, you wouldn't have done it because usually you're pretty clear-cut old tackle the fans.
I would have done it in my son's jersey.
My stance is clear on
I would have taken the stance. I would have done it in my son's jersey.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Bring attention to it. Oh, that's even better. Oh, that's great. Baby.
I would have done it.
No doubt. I would have done it. You can't be better. Unless you know this is business. They've been taking him up and down and back and forth all these years anyway.
Yeah, his career, he's been up and down.
It wouldn't have been personal. You'd be like, dang, man, I wish you wouldn't have done it on Father's Day when my dad's going to pitch. But, man, can y'all wait? No, we only got some amount of time. We got to turn
man, Gwinnett needs you, bro. You've got to get out of here. Yeah. Go join the Stripers.
Yeah, so I'll be like, hey, son, I'm going to pitch in your regard, but I'm going to wear your jersey. How about that?
Did Gwinnett, they had to bring up a catcher, I think is what it was. So it was strictly business.
Dang, that still sucks.
Straight business, homie. Mm-hmm. Kevin in the Borough up next with a ding-dong on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, guys. I got the same ding-dong every week, every month. It's got to be Eric. Eric, this is the second time today you've called into this station. Man, you need to get a life, get a job, get a pet, do something. But everybody doesn't want to hear you every day on the radio. If you want to be on the radio every day, get your own show. Ding dong of the week.
Oh man, come on, be nice to Eric. Eric's a zone legend.
Man. We got caller infighting.
Come on, now.
This is what happens when we get a day off and we start the week off on a Tuesday.
People it's just too much. Yeah. Come on, don't be getting after Eric. We ask for ding dong calls and he obliges.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
well, I got
Eric. We love you, man.
Yeah, we keep on calling in, man. Do what you got to do, man, to make it through your day.
Absolutely,
that's what we're here for. But
100%.
Man, this ding dong is got to do with ding dongery.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Zion Williamson. Oh man, let's first start off with. He has a girlfriend. And he has a couple others. But one is a porn star. Yeah. Miss Mills here says if she doesn't, I guess he broke it off with her, pay her for her, I guess her life has changed because I think she has one on the way, just like the girlfriend. She's going to turn him into the NBA. He better send that money right now. She added NBA and at Pelicans NBA, told him to trade him or she's going to release all of her sex tapes with Zion Williamson.
Oh, no.
So this is what Zion's been doing all his free time while he's been injured.
Ding-dongery.
Yeah, ding-dong. I told you a ding-dong was involved in this ding-dongery. And I'm just like, oh, my God. So I don't know what goes on in the water there in South Carolina, but that is where Zion Williamson and yours truly, who? The Memphis Grizzlies. They were on the same AAU team. Both are both ding-dongs in the last 2 weeks from South Carolina. Yeah, but Zion, man, they're talking about they're going to trade him, and I don't know if they're going to do any of that, but it's just like, oh, man, he got caught way up in the wrong way. Bro, come on, man. Got to know it's a setup, bro. As soon as you got that big chatter, you got to be watching yourself. You better check yourself. Dang. Wow. And I'm sure there's more to this story, but I just wanted to stop right there and just was like, what? You notice the Full Ed Network, they just talking about that the Pelicans may trade him. They ain't giving you all the real information. She's talking about she about to release these sex tapes, bro.
Would you guys, Blaine, you're a hardline GM. You're tough but fair as a GM on this show. Would you trade for him? For anything?
Oh, well, the NBA is all about talent. They don't care about that. What?
But, I mean, his talent, though, can't seem to stay on the floor.
Yeah, right. No,
his talent's a little too big for his body.
Right, that's what she
Like
said.
I told you, my friend Earl at A-State, who said his body can't handle his speed.
Yeah.
it's his hamstrings.
I
too
don't know,
brittle.
man. I think there's going to be an opportunity somewhere. I don't know if they're going to trade him or not. I mean, he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and they still gave him the money. Well, I guess they had no choice but to the way the NBA is set up. Where if that was the NFL, they would have never given him the money. He would have to come back and play healthy for an entire season before they would even consider giving him a big contract. Two totally different leagues. Yeah, I think somebody would want him if they did. Yeah, no doubt. He's just too talented, and he has a following.
Yeah,
being the number one pick, I think in 2019 maybe. So
Tyler has weighed in the chat, said that 2019 NBA draft class is something else.
Yeah, so it's
that league is something else, man.
Yeah, the NBA. I'm coming to find out that Harden is the one with the 76ers is the reason why Doc Rivers got fired. He told the GM, "You choose him or me." Really? Oh. All right, I'm going to go to Amy Armstrong, tell Big Jeff. Jeff's going to tell me it's either him or me. And she's like, who's him? He said, oh, okay, I just, Downey. Oh, okay, I got you.
Oh, the guy in the mascot suit. Yeah, I didn't mean Vrabel.
So bad. That would never happen in the NFL. I don't even think a quarterback can even
Mahomes.
Like that. Yeah, not even Mahomes.
Me or Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Or can you imagine it coming to that?
Andy Reid going to be like, excuse me?
Bye.
I pushed for you to draft you at 11, so I can quickly just push you out. Bye. Yeah, so, dang. Yeah, him and John Morant, man. Woof. I don't think they were ready for this fame and moolah.
How about Chris Paul? Another NBA story. He was on Good Morning America, and they mentioned him getting traded. He goes, yeah, I just found out when I got in the plane to fly here. I didn't know either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He told straight hand live on the air. I had no idea. Yeah. I saw it on the plane.
Yeah, well, you knew something was up when they said they weren't going to give him the big max option, I guess, for $30 million. They said, but we'll give you the $7 million because he can't stay healthy.
Boy.
Ooh.
Yeah, death taxes and him not being healthy in the postseason. So and that's a shame because he's been chasing his ring hard.
Oh, yeah. It's just eluding him. He can't get it.
All right. The ding-dong that I teased is this.
Uh-oh. You teased us with
kid,
your ding-dong?
I have to find all this stuff.
You better stop doing that stuff.
That's not cool. This kid from Florida was a sophomore. He is a sophomore in high school now. He's been homeschooled. He's been recruited by Florida. Well, I guess over the weekend, Austin Simmons, he said, I'm not going to Florida. I'm going to Ole Miss. And I'm going to reclassify from 2025 to 2023. He knocked 2 years off his high school career and is just going to Ole Miss. He went from sophomore to senior. He's homeschooled.
How do you do? Oh, because he was homeschooled.
He's homeschooled.
Oh, so how does that process work? I don't even know. Do you know the answer? Like, how does he have to go just pass the SAT and has enough credit hours to actually graduate from high school, even though he's a sophomore? Because that is true. A lot of kids are more advanced that are homeschooled, depending on their reading levels and everything else. When they're homeschooled, they follow a different curriculum that they have. So that could possibly happen because you're really doing school year round. There's no summer breaks. They may give you a break 2 weeks or something, but then they keep it moving. I know some families like that. Do you know how that process works?
This is from the Palm Beach Post. The 6'3", 200-pound Simmons is homeschooled and taking online courses. He's a sophomore athletically, but has completed his high school core classes and finished 15 college credits.
Oh, just like Lucas.
This allows him to play football at Pahokee while living with his dad in Canal Point, and then he plays baseball in Dade County while living with his mom in Miami. Last season, he pitched for Doctors Charter School of Miami, Shores, varsity, and tossed 2 no-hitters. This year, he may return to Miami Christian, where he was on the varsity as a 6th and 7th grader. Then here's a quote. Austin is kind of in a category by himself because of the amount of work he puts in, said Oliver Bozeman, who has coached Simmons for the last 5 years. Most kids are in school all day. Austin has already completed his schoolwork, and he's in the weight room or in film study, or he's doing quarterback sessions when most kids are doing schoolwork.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh. This may become a trend. And, oh, by the way, did you see how what I heard is he got to play for 2 different schools?
He played for 2 different schools.
He's homeschooled, so he can say, well, I live with my dad half the time. I live with my mom. Yeah. Uh-huh. Ooh.
Hey. And the ding-dongery that's about to end, they say he's got a 5.34 GPA. I didn't even know that was possible.
Huh?
A 5.34 GPA.
I thought the highest you can get is 4.0.
I mean, you can. So if you do like AP courses, then getting a B in an AP course is like getting an A. So it's like a 3.0 is actually a 4.0. So if you get an A, a 4.0 is actually a 5.0. So
those are really college classes, right?
Yes. So you have to basically get straight A's in pretty much all AP classes, if that were the case. Some schools do it. Some schools do it differently than others.
Oh. Yeah, you got to get ready for that. Little rabble.
Hey, man.
Little rabble rouse is going to be like, hey, man, I'm getting a 6.0. Nobody's ever done that.
Eric says, let the kid be a kid and mature then, and we can see if he's really any good. I kind of err more on the side of, like, let the kid be a kid.
Yeah, just let him be a kid.
Just let him be a kid. I mean, he's sophomore. Now, he's 17, and I've seen some people talking about that.
He's 6'3", 200.
I know a bunch of people who held their kid back, though, and made them start school when they were 6. It's easy to be 17 and at that point in school.
Right.
I mean, we told my son, some of his friends got held back. We're like, well, tell him goodbye in preschool, son, because you're going straight to kindergarten home. No holding you back.
There might have been different reasons if you're doing it at kindergarten compared to if you do it in the 8th grade.
Yes.
I just think there's a little difference on why those decisions are made.
So, well, and some of them to let the kid get bigger, let him get more mature if they're having trouble with something.
Right,
But anyway,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
But people were questioning this guy. There's all kinds of people who are 17 in the 10th grade. So that part doesn't bother me. But letting a kid just, maybe this turns out great. But maybe the real ding-dongery is going to be when all these other knuckleheads start trying this.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Because you're saying, like, did you just read this right? He went to 2. He played football at one in the fall and baseball at the other in the spring. Yes, that was a quote from the Miami newspaper.
Because you can choose what school you want to go to if
you're
says
homeschooled, like Tebow did.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So it's a whole bunch of people being like, hey, Johnny, got some news for you. A mom is your new teacher.
No.
You're going to be hanging out here. We're going to get you out of
That's
school.
a serious commitment from the parents. You got one of them that can't be working. That's sure.
Oh, he's taking quarterback classes and watching film and everything else, it said, this dude.
Wow.
Look.
I did the total opposite. I didn't like, you ain't doing nothing. You can do whatever you want to do. Except play video games. Yeah, can't play video games till the weekend.
My console got dusty Monday through Friday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He squeaked in on Fridays, though, because, he got 3 days in a row. I would get tired. I would just get upset that I walked by here 3 hours ago. You were sitting in that same spot. Get up, go outside. What I'm going to do? Shoot the basketball. Go get your friends. Go shoot. You got to go basketball. Go out there. See how many you can hit in a row.
Once upon a time, kids got yelled at to come inside.
I know.
Like,
that's
enough. Come inside. Eat dinner
Yeah.
now. Come inside. Not anymore. You got to yell at them to go outside. Go outside.
Yeah.
Shoot basketball. Ride your bike.
Yeah.
We got to take a break.
I used to get strong riding my bike all the way over to my girlfriend's house, man. My quads got strong. Ooh, I'd be flying over there too, boy.
The bike man.
Yeah, he said, hey, my mom and dad's gone. Oh, I'll be there in a second. Yeah. I had a, what's it called? Thunder, dang, I forgot the name of that bike I had. Dang. Dirt bike too, boy. I kept that thing as strong. I had to pedal hard and strong. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk some Tennessee baseball next. They did
Mickey
something.
never tells us nothing about his little secrets, man. About
Easy there, Zion.
You was jogging over your girlfriend's house. I know you.
No, I had a motorcycle.
Oh, Mom, we got to hear this when you come back.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5, the Zone. College World Series update. TCU up 1-0 over Oral Roberts in the third inning. Blaine's pick to win it all, right? TCU going into this thing?
No.
Had him in the championship. Okay.
I had LSU winning it all, I think, versus TCU. Ooh. But I messed that up. TCU lost in the first game right after we left to Oral Roberts. But I think Tennessee's got a great shot today to win. What is it? The third starters. I think they got a great shot.
Day three starter.
Day 3 starter. Who's the starter for LSU? Do we know?
We don't know. They have not had the consistency in their day 3 starter the way Tennessee has had in Drew Beam. Yeah. So it's a bit of a wild card. But
that's why I think they're going to get him.
But pretty sure not going to see Paul Skeens because he was there through 120 pitches Saturday.
Quote from Vince Ferrara from over in Knoxville.
Never know, though. They may use him. You just never know.
It's do or die. They could throw him out there, but because I asked Mike Wilson the exact same thing. It's an elimination game. They're not going to – he played on Saturday. They wouldn't put him out there. He said –
coming as a reliever. You
maybe you'd see him for a few pitches.
Vanderbilt did that to Rocker, and it was in the playoffs. And he played, and that's where people start saying he kind of changed his delivery. Oh, they start saying that in that game. It was in the World Series. And he had short rest, and he didn't look the same either. I mean, he looked good, but he wasn't looking like how he was before, like dominant. So that'll be something to consider, but you got to get everybody on deck, man. But Chase Burns, man, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts. I watched that entire game. No walks, no runs. It was incredible pitching performance, really. And then the bats heated up. It's kind of like they rallied around what his pitching was doing, really. So I really like what I saw, man. It's kind of shows how you can change throughout a season their mentality. Because that was mentally tough. They were down 4-0, right? 4-0.
4-0 in the fifth,
that's happened before in these playoffs and everything else. So they got some grit to them. That's signs of a champion. So I'm picking them to win today. So they got that win over Stanford, but I'm picking them to win over LSU today, even though I have LSU in the championship.
There's a lot of people saying Skeens can't pitch because of a pinch count in the postseason.
Is that a true statement?
There's a lot of people saying.
I've never heard of that.
I've seen that floating around. Say it again, Mickey.
He pitched 120
Like here's
pitches,
somebody
right?
having a conversation with Wes Rucker. It's Vols so hard. He said Skeens can't pitch tomorrow over 110 pitch count in a single game. And then he has in quotes, he threw 123 on Saturday. There's a mandatory 3-day rest per the NCAA. Wednesday is the earliest he can come back. So somebody said, what's your source? And he said, the NCAA rule book.
I was reading Ryan Schumpert of Rocky Top Insider, who was basically debunking that, saying that no, LSU could toss out Skeens if they wanted to. I'll pull up Schumpert's report on Rocky Top Insider.
If he wasn't the starter but could still pitch?
Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I've seen that today as well. But I don't think that's the case. I think LSU can throw out Skeens if they want to.
This was a quote. Vince Ferrara, who's a longtime radio guy in Knoxville, tweeted this quote from LSU's head coach, Jay Johnson. We have 9 guys available to pitch tomorrow, and we'll choose one of them. He'll get guys out as long as he can, and then we'll go to the next guy, and then we'll go to the next guy, and the next guy until we figure out how to get 27 outs against a really good team. So this sounds like all hands on deck. And I guess the other 2 top LSU pitchers both pitched yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so 1 and 2 and 3 have all given it a whole lot over the last couple of days. So it might be what you got. Is it you, Luke, who hadn't heard of Johnny Holstaff? Didn't we have this discussion?
Oh no, I know Johnny Holstaff.
Okay,
I do know that expression.
Somebody I had this conversation with the other day. Said, "What in the world is that?"
Who's that? Where'd he go to college?
Yeah, Johnny Holstaff.
It wasn't with me.
See, like, where did he come from? I said, no, that's like everybody.
But Ryan Schumpert, Rocky Top Insider, tweeted this morning.
He debunked it.
He said, seen a lot of tweets about how Paul Skeens cannot pitch tonight, quote, by rule. That is inaccurate. Wouldn't think he would throw anyway, but LSU is not prohibited from pitching him. But yes, Tennessee's bullpen, the Johnny Holstaff is what has gotten Tennessee. It's what got them out of Hattiesburg, and it's what Stanford had their ace, right? Matthews, and almost nothing else. And Matthews obviously stayed on a little too long. Tennessee ties it up, and from there they go on to win. So the bullpen is what has Tennessee at this point.
This will be their 5th time playing, and they're 3-1, right? LSU. So
that's right.
And then when they got him, it was on the 3rd pitcher, wasn't it?
That's right. It was on day 3. It was on Sunday in Baton Rouge.
So I think they got a shot. They got a lot of momentum. Man, they keep showing up. Wow. Deep pitching rotation.
All right, this is from
Oh, too.
thebaseballguide.com.
They threw
It
curveballs,
says pitch count limits. In 2023, the NCAA introduced new pitch count limits for college baseball games. Pitch count limits have been used in high school and youth baseball for several years, but this is the first time they'll be implemented in college baseball. The new pitch count limits are intended to reduce the risk of player injury and promote player safety. Here you go. During the regular season, pitchers will be limited to throwing no more than 115 per game. During the postseason, the pitch count limit will be reduced to 110 pitches per game. So maybe it's just that game, and then
Well, I thought he pitched 120 pitches.
he pitched 123.
23. Okay, I knew it was over 120. So that's still not telling us if he
It's
can
not
pitch.
telling us anything. Yeah, somebody said, like, here's the explanation, and I'm looking at this, and that just says you can only throw that much in one game, which he exceeded that.
So none of that sounded
Well,
right.
we about to find out tonight then for sure. Per Ryan Shumpert, he said that's all just a bunch of poo. Right, Luke?
I bet if he had to come in and pitch for an inning or two, I bet they would do it. If they think they can close it out. But it's not going to happen because they're not going to close it out. UT wins.
Well, you have your normal day 3 starter.
What's his name?
Drew Beam.
Yeah.
Drew Jim Beam. They can throw him out there.
He's been great in the postseason.
So does he have a nasty curveball? Uh-oh. They both looking like, I don't know.
Well, here's a nasty curveball. Hour number 1's over. We got to get to hour number 2. Coach Mac coming up in a little over 20 minutes. You want to talk Tennessee baseball or something you saw this weekend? You can do that as we continue through this Tuesday show, which is like a Monday show, but it's still actually Tuesday, which puts you one day closer to Friday. We'll be right back.
It is 2 o'clock. Good afternoon from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. I'm Lucas Panzica. In Omaha, Tennessee looks to stay alive once again tonight. A 6 p.m. first pitch in an elimination game. The Vols taking on LSU for the second time in this College World Series. LSU defeated Tennessee 6-3 on Saturday. The Tigers took 2 out of the 3 in the regular season series. Tennessee expected to start Drew Beam on the mound tonight. Again, a 6 p.m. first pitch. You can hear the Vol Network call right here on The Zone. Currently in progress, start of the 4th inning. TCU leads Oral Roberts 1-0. All quiet on the DeAndre Hopkins front after visiting the Titans and Patriots over the course of the last 2 weeks. Mike Giardi reporting that Hopkins is in no rush to make a decision and that he'd be happy to wait until training camp. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. College baseball continues. Be on tonight on The Zone. LSU, Tennessee, 6 o'clock right here on the big 1045 FM.
Ready. Unless 707 gets canceled. But yeah.
No,
hey,
man.
I want to see that front row, man. It was exciting to watch it. Man.
Vols beat Stanford 6-4 yesterday. First win in Omaha since 2001.
First for Vitello, right?
Yeah.
First, yes,
And
win in Omaha for Tony V. Yeah, they went in 2005 and then again in 2021, but went 2 and done in both those occasions.
Mm-hmm. So he's got that monkey off their back. Yeah. Cool.
They got a great chance to win tonight, too.
Oh, I know.
I mean, Oklahoma leads the season series, 3-1, including the first game of the College World Series.
Oklahoma.
But Chase Burns with a performance for the ages. 9 Ks, no runs, 2 hits and 6 innings pitched to save their bacon yesterday. Vols trailed 4-0 before they got 4 in the 5th and 2 more in the 7th and won 6-4. I don't know if anybody we were off yesterday, so we got to watch the game. Not sure who all did. That was a fantastically fun baseball game to watch.
Zane Denton, clutch hitting once again.
Was Zane Denton with a slide, too, who just beat the tag of the catcher.
It was a little early slide, too, boy. He kind of got...
He gave him a face full of dirt on that. He sure did.
Boy, he had the extra... Just should have took another half step. But, it all worked out. He was safe. So. Yeah, a lot of clutch hitters there, man. It was pretty neat to watch. Them just rally around all of that. And Chase Burns' performance there for 6 innings, wasn't it?
6 innings.
He was dominant.
And was just untouchable. I mean, they got, a single and a bunt single, and that was the extent of what they were able to get off him. He came in and just slammed the door.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's more of a fastball guy, but he had his off-speed and curveball and everything else working in this game, which kind of threw the team off a little bit, I think, and that's why you saw the dominance, man. I think that's what they were expecting. That's why, he was the number 1 pitcher earlier in the season, correct, and then got kind of moved and benched, and man, just for him to recover from that and then to come out here and put this kind of performance up is pretty impressive. Yeah.
Really, for Tony V to make the changes that he did pitching-wise has turned out to be the thing that, shifting some guys' roles around has really turned out to be the thing that has run them well into their first win in Omaha since 2001.
Which I'm sure was tough to do, especially – when you come in with certain expectations for players and then it doesn't work out and then you move them, just like Burns. I'm sure he wasn't happy, but he had to do it for the team and had no other choice. And then he says, well, I'm going to show him what I can do there. So it'll be interesting to see. Does he have – can he come out? No,
Burns, I believe, needs to stay 1 more year.
Right.
Before he
pitched
can come
a year.
out.
Burns,
you have to stay 3 right now if you
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, oh, man, I bet he's – how much does that hurt his stock, like as a starting pitcher?
The fact that he was kind of moved to this relief role.
Yeah. So that'll be something to watch when this is over.
Maybe he gets back into that role next year, but I think anytime you're throwing Ben Joyce was a closer, right, for Tennessee last year, hitting those triple digits, and we're seeing the debut that he had with the Angels a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know. I think anytime you have that triple-digit mark on your fastball, you're going to get a good shot.
Oh, well, yeah, there's no doubt he's going to get that. Just a matter, did that hurt his stock? And when I say that, I'm like, oh, you go to first round, then you go to third.
Right.
Now you start saying, you affected my dollars.
Yeah.
And my cents. This dude, man.
Let's add some sense to this conversation. Tim in Brentwood wants to weigh in on the College World Series. Tim, thanks for calling, man.
Got some clarity on who can play and what?
First-time caller, Wake Forest graduate. Now,
There we go. Y'all gonna win it all, huh?
I appreciate the fact that as a Nashville-based sports talk show, you got to talk about the SEC. You got to talk about how many teams got in. You got to talk about UT hanging on last night. But Wake Forest is going the distance.
Woo, right. I mean, they're the number 1 seed, so they put up a lot of runs. So yeah, well, we shall see. We all know in baseball, all you got to do is have one bat outing, and then boom, there you go. So yeah, they're the favorites for sure.
Lose twice in a row not to make the championship,
mm-hmm.
and that ain't going to happen. And if you add up in the College World Series the run differential totals, I got it something like 48 to 7 or 8, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then their pitching is so deep.
Yeah,
I think they're going to do it.
They definitely, the odds are in their favor for sure.
Yeah, they have come in clubbing the ball. That's for sure. Thank you for the phone call. Offensively, the numbers that he's throwing out, just looking ahead before this started, it's like, my gosh, Wake Forest is a juggernaut.
Yeah. Especially when I did all my research looking at the teams when I picked TCU versus LSU. But I think somebody's going to clip them a couple times. I think they're going to get got. Usually, the reason why I say that is I'm not watching all the World Series, but I'm watching it when it gets down to the nitty-gritty at the time. When was the last time the favorite going into the World Series actually won the World Series? See, and that's what made me say, they put up runs, but they got runs and pitching, man. I don't know. I was like, I'm going to go against the grain. I don't think the team who was favored going in, I don't know how often they actually win it.
The number 1 overall seed has not won it since the late 90s.
Okay.
Now, betting favorites, that I couldn't quite speak to, because I wonder if Vanderbilt went into any of these in recent years as the betting favorite, even if they weren't the number 1 overall seed.
Got you.
But I do know the number 1 ranked team in the country has not won it because they were hammering that stat last year when Tennessee had that dominant regular season and then fell short in the Super Regional.
There you go.
This is what Ben
That's
McKee
facts.
tweeted yesterday, and I tweeted this out from Blaine and Mickey so I could go back and find it. This is from our buddy Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. What Tennessee has to do this week in order to make it to the championship series. Monday, beat Stanford.
Done.
Check. Tuesday, beat the loser of Wake Forest LSU. So that's today at 6 o'clock.
Check.
1045 The Zone. That's today.
I'm checking it. Stamping it.
Wednesday, beat the winner of Wake Forest LSU. So that's our last caller's team, Wake, that is awaiting. Thursday, beat the winner of Wake LSU a second time. That's what he was talking about.
That's where they may get stuck right there. Woo! Yeah, they may get stuck. 2 in a row. That's tough. Ooh. I think they're going to go on a run here. I really believe it. I do.
When you drop in the losers bracket,
man.
You're basically telling everybody in your team that can throw, hey, man, get warmed up.
But they got arms and they got bat, and they're just pretty much like Wake Forest as far as depth. Maybe not putting up the explosive runs like them, but they definitely can go through some innings where they're putting up some serious numbers. We'll see. Baseball's a weird sport, though. You got to get hot at the right time, and they're doing great, man. They look good.
So TCU and Oral Roberts playing now. TCU leads Oral Roberts 1-0 in the top of the 4th. Tennessee and LSU, that's tonight at 6 o'clock our time. So you'll see 7 a lot, but of course that's Knoxville Eastern time. So 6 o'clock our time. That game is here on the Zone. So Thursday, the game 6 winner versus the game 9 winner. So that's out of that. That's Florida versus whomever wins this game. And then Wake versus whomever wins Tennessee's game. So basically, if you're Tennessee, like Ben said, you got to play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to get all the way to the final series.
The only way
which would start Saturday.
Back to back to back. That's baseball. Got to play every day.
Well, the kids who play travel ball kind of get used to it. Like, hey, man, it's Sunday, so you play as long as you play. Play till you lose.
We shall see.
Well-
Have they ever won it? When was they won the World Series? Ever?
Tennessee?
No.
No.
Ooh, this is gonna be an interesting. If they win tonight, I'm gonna have a better feel.
I think TCU's about to be up 2-0 in this deal. Guy just hit a triple to the corner. Oh no, they're going to stop the runner at third. So TCU with runners at second and third now, 2 outs in the top of the fourth. Again, TCU leads 1-0
Over
against Oral Roberts, which really another thing that makes this tournament unique is that a team like Oral Roberts can actually make it against high resource conferences who are spending millions and millions
That's
on
what
baseball.
I love is an even playing field in baseball. Gotta love that, right?
You get yourself a couple of good pitchers. If you have a couple of lights out pitchers, somehow you do it some way. I mean, Coastal won this thing before they were in the Sun Belt. What was that, back in 2014 or so? You have a couple of lights out pitchers, man.
Mm-hmm.
You and like Blaine, you said you don't have to be the biggest or the fastest guy. Nope, you just got to be a solid baseball player.
Yeah, I'm surprised Lucas wasn't playing baseball.
He was too busy kicking his soccer ball.
Played it in
Birmingham.
third grade and was like, ain't for me.
Oh,
Too much
no.
standing.
Too much. Oh, that's what got you away to standing.
Yep.
Watch this, Oral Roberts. How many people? I mean, how many? Yeah, callers you think know where Oral Roberts is?
It's in
No, I didn't
do
say
you
said
guys
that
know?
guess. Do you guys know? Uh-oh, look, he's looking like, I don't know.
I know just because I'm pretty sure it's in Oklahoma.
Okay,
Right?
what
Yeah.
city in Oklahoma?
Oh, that I could not tell you.
I do know that.
Oklahoma City.
No,
Tulsa. Oh, is it? Okay.
It is in Tulsa.
I remember I had to look that up years ago.
I've actually driven past the campus, so I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I have family live in Oklahoma City. I have cousins and everything.
Best friend went to med school there. Do you know how many people go? This is where the rubber meets the road on this deal, because I thought that's a small school. You guys know what the enrollment is at Oral Roberts. That's what makes this all the more amazing.
Ooh, I'm going to say 8K
8,000?
undergrad.
Oh, no. I'm going
Less than that?
4,500.
Okay.
4,000.
Oh, almost got it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. It's baseball, man. It's a level playing field here, man. It's pretty cool to see.
Well, and they had their little basketball run, too. Oral Roberts, right? Didn't they do something recently in the NCAA tournament?
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
what,
they
a
may have
couple,
won
3
the-
years ago, right?
Did they
that
win in the
sounds
first
right.
round?
Didn't they just make a run to like the Sweet 16 or
remember.
something?
I don't remember their name.
This past year, they went 30-5,
Oh,
and they lost to Duke in the first round.
yeah, they lost. In the
Well, that's
first
a bad draw. Hey, man,
Yeah,
great
that's
year.
right.
Here's Duke.
round. Ooh. TCU. Oh, to the
warning
to the
track
wall.
power. 2-0 TCU over Oral Roberts.
That's right. They made a run to the Sweet 16 in 2021.
Okay,
And
I
they
thought it was
lost
a couple of years
They
ago.
lost a
2020.
tight game against Arkansas in the Sweet 16. They beat Ohio State and Florida on the way there.
Yep.
Here's the significance.
The big
A
mammoth
lot to
teams.
a lot of significance to this, because at every school, every student pays what are called student athletic fees. I know this because I was an administrator at a small school that's Division I, about 10,000 students.
We
That's
do?
bigger than Oral Roberts, that's for sure.
Way bigger.
Ooh.
And every student pays student athletic fees. So
Yeah,
the
I
more
did.
students you have, the more people who pay those athletic fees, and thus the more money in your athletic team's coffers. And if you don't know that, you think, wait a second, what? And typically it's sold to your student as, yes, and you can get into, like at Tennessee, did you have to pay for your football tickets as a student, Lucas?
$10 a pop.
Okay, what about other sports?
No.
Okay, that
yeah.
was your student athletic fees at work. You can go to all the
Right.
soccer games for free that you
right.
want.
You can go to basketball games for free.
all you want. Just get-
Everything. And $10 a game was fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
I had friends that went to Auburn and Alabama that were shelling out way more for student tickets.
your student athletic fees bought you that $10 ticket, right? But also got you into, all of the baseball games that you could
Yeah.
cram yourself
And all
into.
the
Student
basketball
athletic
games
fees.
and all that, right?
So when you hear about a teeny tiny school being competitive, they're just finding ways to be competitive because they're certainly not getting a whole lot of athletic fees. Coach Mack, he went to TCU. Maybe he paid athletic fees. He was there on scholarship, so I doubt it. He benefited from them. Coach Dave McGinnis, he was a college football player at TCU. He was a coach for the Titans. He was coach for the Rams. He was head coach of the Cardinals. He joins us every Tuesday. He will do that next.
Now he's calling games.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Welcome into hour number 2 of the Tuesday show, which feels like a Monday because it's our first day of the week to be back. Spent yesterday off in observance of Juneteenth, but back on schedule today and back on schedule with our man, Coach Mac. Coach Mac, we got your Horned Frogs on TV in this College World Series. What a year for your Frogs this year, man, and it just continues.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now, too, watching the Frogs. With my brother and I, we're watching the Frogs play Oral Roberts. They got to keep winning. They can't afford to lose another game. We watched the Vols, also. That College World Series is really fascinating. It is must-see television, and those people that are there, they are all into it. I love it.
I'm surprised Coach Mac has never done Coach Mac stuff in Omaha at this place. That seems like a great place for Coach Mac to just go and do Coach Mac stuff.
That'd be a good place to go sometime because everybody that I've ever talked to, and I've talked to, of course, TCU's been there before, and I've talked to a lot of my friends that have gone out there, and they say it's a wonderful fan experience. And you can tell just watching on television, all of those fans of all of those teams that are down there, they are really, really into it. Really into it. It's a great atmosphere. Sure
is. Looks awesome. Coach Mac, always awesome with his visits. So everybody's kind of gone their separate ways. I guess the rookies had to stick around and do some stuff, but the off-season wink, as it is in the NFL, a few weeks has started now. Wanted to ask you this because we've talked to you about this in the past. What kind of message did you give to the team as they left and that kind of thing? But I wanted to ask you, how individual were you with different guys before they left, where you tell this guy do this and this guy work on this and this guy come back more like this? Was there more of that or less of that for you?
Well, there was a lot of it for me all the way through, from an assistant head coach, to a coordinator, to an assistant head coach, to a head coach. I stayed pretty consistent with that throughout all of the 3+ decades that I coached in the National Football. I wanted to know my players, and I wanted to be very involved with my players as far as, not only giving them the help that they need, but find out, who they were and what was best for them. And so I was very, very in tune, with all of them, where they were. And, you need to take time to do that. And most of the coaches do that, to be. And now you hire people that are, very, very, very skilled at breaking down, what they should do training-wise and those types of things. But I always talk to all of my players throughout all of my career, regardless of the position I held in the National Football League, about what they were doing, how they felt, they did last year, and how they felt they were going to do different this year. Because it's a people business. You've got to be in tune with your dudes, and I was.
How much of telling your coaches was, hey, man, get out of here for a couple of weeks and go do something else?
Well, it's you have to do it. And it's, of course, most of the coaches now in the National Football League, they understand the grind. The guys that you have to tell early on are the younger coaches that come into the league that haven't been coaching, or, even the players that start into coaching don't really realize the grind that the coaching part of it is. It's hard being a player, but it's a different world being a coach because you're there all the time and you're involved all the time. And so I was always very, very cognizant of my coaches and their families, and it wasn't only for the coaches to get away. It was also for their families too, because families of coaches and players, while they are active in the National Football League, sacrifice a lot of personal time with that player or with that coach. And so I always encourage them, spend time with the people that are important to you. This job is important to you, but it will be here in a couple of weeks. Spend time with those people.
Speaking of time, for 75 years, Tennesseans have been relying on Farm Bureau health plans for their health coverage. Why? Better rates, better coverage, and better service. And they bring you the Mac Attack every Tuesday here on Blaine and Mickey.
Well, Coach Mac, I guess give us your overall impressions of the Tennessee Titans after the minicamp.
No, they're still a work in progress, to me, honestly. Looking at them, they've got, they're going to have new starters. The offensive line is going to be new, at least 3 new starters, but that means 5 guys have to be new, gelling together. It's a new offense. It's a new offensive system, and that's something that's going to have to continue, to improve as we go along. Defensively, I think the strength of the team right now, as it looks, is going to be that defensive front. Somebody's going to have to step up at the cornerback spot. Maybe one or maybe 2. Now, what you have to see is the first thing that's got to happen in the back end. Now, I think the linebacker group is going to be good, and the safety group, as far as the starters, is solid. They need to find backups at safety. So I still think it's very much a work in progress, and has been and it has been there since I've been involved with the Titans, which has been a long time of the 8 years of coaching, and then now doing this. They're set at the punting position, and they're set at the long snapper position. The kicking position, the place kicking and the field goals, that is something I think that is still also going to be a competition and a work in progress. So I think very honestly, when you look at it, you can say that it has to be, a work in progress. And they're working towards it. I'm looking forward to this year, and especially early on, Blaine, in the training camp, and also, with our preseason games and the work against Minnesota and New England, to see this team develop, because this team is going to have to continue to develop throughout the season. But I think the thing that hangs over this whole team is they've got to stay healthy to give themselves any type of chance, and they've got to stay healthy.
No doubt about it. Well, with Coach Mack giving us the Mac attack, you mentioned the cornerback position, so I guess that's excluding Christian Fulton, since he did not practice. With your evaluation of who actually practiced.
Well, it's a big year for Christian Fulton. This is his contract year, right? And he made some of those decisions, so he's going to have to practice. I mean, he's going to have to be available. That's going to be very, very important. I thought Roger McCreary had a really, really good year last year. For a first year, I thought he accorded himself very, very well. And Sean Murphy-Bunting is a proven cornerback in the National Football League. And so, those two guys have proven that they can play and stay healthy. We've got some guys that have got some talent just watching them, but they have to be available. I mean, Farley has not done anything yet, at all. He hasn't stayed healthy. And if you're not available, then it's really hard for me to include you in the evaluation of the team until you prove that you're going to be out there doing something on the field on a consistent basis.
You've been around the league for a long time, over 30-something years. Offensive linemen are underrated on really the development and the success of a team. And I think it's underrated, and I think it's really vital, especially now when everything is run in the trenches. How quickly or how soon do you think that the chemistry, which is something that I value a lot and no one talks about, chemistry with the offensive line, typically how long does that take when you have a new group together, especially when you're talking about 3 of the 5?
Well, there's two things, and you bring up a good point, Blaine. Chemistry is the guys getting to know one another. Now, playing together with that type of feel for one another, that takes time on the field. Now, and the only way you can develop that is time on task. That's the only way you can develop that. Now, you said something about the offensive line that I think, is very observant. You played the game, so you know how the locker room is. That group seems to bond very quickly, because as you said, it is a group that is underappreciated, by the novice, just casual watcher of the game. But people involved in the game know how vitally important it is up front. I mean, the game's up front, for both sides of the football. But those guys, I think, personally, have bonded as far as people. Now, as far as bonding with how you're going to play in unison with that person next to you, that's going to take time. That to me, that's something that's going to be developing throughout the season. It's going to have to develop throughout the season. And now, when you watch them, it looks like it's a more from end to end, because, the last couple of years they just have not been healthy. And so you could not say the athleticism was there last year because it was so inconsistent with the health for all of them. Now it seems to be a fairly healthy athletic group, but they've got to get time on task working together. For this group, Blaine, I think the workouts against Minnesota and New England before we even play them are very, very vital too. Now, when the pads come on, clearly that's the time you can start to look at them. But this is a group that's going to have to meld together over a period of time in this season.
Well, naturally, I want you to kind of just give us a little insight on what you've seen from Skoronski, as well as Dillard, them working on the same side, and coming in the same year. They're both new, so into a new system. So how have they looked thus far to this point, and what recommendations would you give them as far as what they need to work on?
Well, I mean, they haven't had any pads on yet.
Yeah,
I mean, for the linemen, you can't. They both are very athletic. Skoronski, I watched him in practice, and he is the same guy he was on tape. He's one of the most technically sound players in this draft. The most technically sound, and that's not just Coach Mac's evaluation. You can talk to people around the league, and that's what he is. And so when you watch him, and he's played both tackle and guard, which I think he can do both. But Dillard's is an athletic dude. He's an athletic, player, and so again, his time on task. I mean, he's a veteran, a former first round pick, but he got beat out there at Philadelphia, from a player that has, really, they formed one of the best offensive lines in the league right now in Philadelphia. But he's got the athleticism to be able to play. But Skoronski, to me, that was a huge get, because regardless of where he ends up playing throughout his career for the Tennessee Titans, and I hope every one of the years he's played is here, this is a 10 or 12-year starter in the National Football League, just because he is so technically sound coming in, and then he's athletically gifted with good quickness, and he's got power. He's got short area quicks and power, which is vital for that offensive line.
There you have it. Coach Mac giving us the Mac attack.
Coach, we've heard the offense is different, and Ryan Tannehill said that a lot, and the other guys have talked about it. What things did you notice that were different with the offense than what you saw in the past under, say, Todd Downing?
Yeah, I can't talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Because there's only so much that that I can see a lot, but it's going to be different. It's going to be different, and those differences are why the change was made. And I think that one thing that was spoken about, Mike Vrabel has spoken about it, Kelly's spoken about it. You've heard some of the offensive players speak about it, is that the speed of play has picked up, just because they said that the verbiage, as far as figuring out what is in every call, is much simpler than it used to be. Okay, I'm not in the huddle, but I know just watching practice, it looks like things are moving faster. Now, technically what they're doing, structurally what they're doing, I can't talk about that, or they wouldn't let me watch practice anymore, and then I wouldn't be Coach Mac. Sure.
Well, I meant, like what you talked about, the same thing they discussed, faster and that kind of thing, and simplifying the verbiage. So we certainly know you gotta watch what you say. Tyjae Spears. Mike Vrabel talked about him being used in multiple positions. I asked Justin Outen about him the last day we got to talk to the assistants, and he said, he's a versatile guy, but mainly we need to teach him how to be a halfback first. What I wanted to ask you was, a guy like him, how do you keep from throwing too much at him?
Well, here's what you do, and players absorb things on a different rate. You've got Blaine sitting right there next to you. I mean, Blaine was a guy that could absorb information and put it. Blaine could take it from the meeting room, from the tape to the field pretty quickly. Some guys, it takes them a little longer. They have to walk through it. They have to see it. They have to know it. And now, I'm not in the meeting room with this guy, but they will feed you, or we will feed you as coaches, as much as you can take and digest. It's not just putting it in your mouth. You have to be able to digest it. And this guy, to me, so far looks like he's been able to take everything that they have been feeding him. I know this. This is the guy that I watched on tape, and this is also the guy that I really, really liked, sitting right next to Rhett Bryant for all those days down there at the Senior Bowl. This has been Rhett's guy for a long, long time. And what he has shown so far without pads on in OTAs is exactly what I saw on tape. He's got juju to him. He's got make 'em miss to him, and he's got really, really good hands, and he's got great vision. He's an eyesight vision runner that you can tell. I mean, whether they have pads on or not, you can see if a guy can see the cuts before he even makes the cuts. I like this dude a lot.
Like Coach Mac a lot. He gives us the Mac Attack every Tuesday, doing it right now here on Blaine and Mickey.
Well, Coach, talk a little bit about Malik Willis and how he's looked, because he looked improved from last season. naturally. But I wanted to hear your thoughts. You're watching him a little bit more than I am. What'd you see out of Malik Willis?
I agree with you, Blaine. He is much further along, what you would expect him to be. I mean, he came in here, at a pretty good deficit as far
Yeah.
as being able to play and to do the things it takes to play quarterback in the National Football League. All rookie quarterbacks, but they all come in with certain degrees of deficits depending on where they've played, where they've been trained, and all of that. But the one thing about Malik Willis that has impressed me, and I tell him, because I'll say hello to him every now and then before practice. You got to appreciate his mindset and his work ethic. I mean, he's always the first guy out, and he's always out there. I mean, he is working at it. And so when you're watching him now, he is having to absorb his second offense in 2 years. So he's having to take some of those things he had to adapt from his game at Liberty into the system last year, and then now he's got to relearn a system. But he is on a different plane than he was when he first came in here. And so Malik Willis is a constant worker. And so those kind of guys, I'm always willing to give them a really long leash because as long as they're working at it, I'm willing to work with them.
Well, then, with that being said, then what were your thoughts on what you saw on Mr. Levis there, the second rounder?
Yeah, he's further ahead than Malik was when Malik came in here,
Right.
just because he's played in two pro-style offenses and at a bigger degree of football. When he came in here, but still, the speed of the National Football League, as you well know, it shocks rookies immediately. It shocks them. And the speed, I'm not just talking about how fast people run straight ahead. I'm talking about how fast defenders close on the ball. I'm talking about how fast windows close. I'm talking about the decision making. Those milliseconds start winding down in the National Football League for quarterbacks' decision making. He displayed what you could see, even from his junior to his senior year. He displayed the same arm strength and the same physical characteristics. He has got an arm. I mean, the guy can spin it. He throws piss missiles naturally. I mean, he can do that.
Yeah,
now what he's got to do is learn the nuances of what it takes with the different routes, the different timing, and also time you have to throw and windows that you have to throw. You cannot throw to receivers in the National Football League when they're open. You have to throw them open because windows close very, very quickly in this league. So he's still learning that.
There you have it. Coach Mac giving us the Mac attack.
Coach, fantastic stuff. Your Frogs are up 3-0 right now in the fifth. So looks like if they can hold on, they'll beat Oral Roberts and advance in this thing.
Mickey, I always love when both of you guys bring up the Frogs when I come on here, and now we got something to talk about. Go Frogs. I'm sitting here giving you the frog signal right now.
No, that's better than any other signal you could give us with a certain finger. Hey, anyway, you and your brother enjoy the game. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Yes, sir. The one and only Coach Mac watching his Frogs on TV. When we come back, we'll wrap up this show, including a little bit of an update on DeAndre Hopkins. A little bit of an update from over the weekend. I'll tell you what we know.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone, 3HL coming up next. I'll get you the rest of the way home today as it rains and doesn't, and rains and doesn't, and it rains and doesn't, which has kind of been the pattern, and it's maybe going to be the pattern the rest of the week. So if you like rain, you're going to really like parts of the next few days, I figure. Mike Giardi, who's currently unaffiliated. I think he was with, NFL Network and cut loose, but he's still covering the – yeah, so if you're Mike Giardi fan, that's right. He tweeted this out, I believe, yesterday afternoon. He said, circle back on the DeAndre Hopkins sweepstakes. He said, a source with knowledge of the situation hammered home, and this is what Blaine's been saying all along, there's no rush to make a decision, that there could be more out there in the coming weeks, the start of training or the start of training camp. He says, with possibly a team unhappy with their wide receiver room or an injury. He said the same person added that Hopkins liked his meeting with the Patriots and also had similar feelings about his trip to Nashville with Mike Vrabel and the Titans. He said they each offer something unique to Hopkins. Both teams told Hopkins he still has elite capabilities. But this goes back to what you were saying, because I think everybody's like, oh, no, he's going to leave here. They're going to lock him in a room and make him sign. You're like, no, he'll leave here without a deal. I mean, he's going to go to New England. He doesn't have to do anything. There's no more practice. There's no nothing for 5 weeks, 4 weeks. So he's not in any hurry. And as we've talked a lot about, if he signs with the Patriots or the Titans, he already knows the offense.
Yeah. Well, one thing about that report is I think it's coming mostly from his side, and I want to say his agent, because it's still we've never heard the Titans say he has elite capability still, or that he's going to be a 1 or 2 or higher he's going to be using in an offense. So I think this was a play on from the beginning. I think the Titans and New England was trying to play it close to the vest because he was trying to manipulate his market and try to build it up so he can get a higher number. This is all about the numbers, and Titans didn't bite, and neither did the Patriots. And I think they felt comfortable that the Patriots weren't going to bite. And from the Titans' view, this is going to sound bad. They really believe that they don't need a wide receiver immediately. We, from the outside, think they do, but I don't think, believe that they need an elite receiver, let's say that, a guy of this stature. So they're not pressed to sign him, and they need to make some room in the cap. So something's going to have to make them move, whether it's him, another receiver gets injured on another team, or maybe they have somebody gets nicked up, or Hopkins comes down on his price. So it's going to be interesting. I probably would bet that he probably won't sign to training camp because he will have to learn a new offense if it's with another team. Mm-hmm. So those are the advantages of being with the Titans and the Patriots. He knows the offense. And as a player, that is very valuable. I'm telling you right now. And then you can miss all the camp, and I don't think he's too – you're a veteran guy. You're like, oh, I'm going to miss camp. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, so I don't think he's too upset about that. So maybe just see just where this goes and what he was offered. No numbers have been leaked or anything like that. So to me, that means those numbers weren't high enough, or maybe he even didn't get an offer. So I just think people were just filling him out and see how he can fit on their team. I think that's what they did. So we'll see, though. This is an interesting one. He's a Lone Ranger, too. He's the big name and the only guy that's out there that's worthy of signing right now. And it's interesting. He's still a really good player, worst case scenario, and nobody signed him.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear all the people, oh, that means he's no good. No, it doesn't mean that. It means he could be overpricing himself, at least as of right now. And the sense of urgency from other teams hasn't stepped up to that game. Just imagine, let's say, Stephon Diggs, who was, disgruntled for whatever reason, all of a sudden gets nicked up, and then he's not playing this season, or he missed half a season. Oh, DeAndre Hopkins is the first guy they're going to call.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
And he knows that. And
he knows it, and he's going to get what he wants, or somewhere there close to that. Mm-hmm. So then the number will jump up to 10 to 12 to maybe even 14, 15. I have no idea. I don't know the market. I'm just telling you what I would have paid him at this point in time, which was 7 to 10. I know a lot of people were starting at the 10. And he might have looked at that as disrespectful, but the way the market is, and the Titans, I think, felt like they didn't really need a receiver, at least not at that level at this point in time. They weren't pressed.
Right.
We as fans were, because we think they need an elite receiver who can make everything easy.
If they felt pressed, they would have offered him what it took to keep him there.
Yeah,
right.
They would have. That's how I feel. Mm-hmm.
It's always interesting when we talk to Joel Corey, who was a sports agent now with CBS Sports, because we talked to him about Byard and we talked to him about Hopkins, and he always uses the phrase "made whole," meaning like if you're Byard and when all the standoff came off about like, hey, man, I want you to take a pay cut, and apparently he said no. Corey said, obviously his agent has something out there where he feels like he can made whole by another team, and meaning
or somewhere
like,
they're close.
Right, like go ahead and cut me. I know there's the same amount of money virtually from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And for Hopkins, his last deal was 2 years, 54.5, so 27.
No, he's not getting that.
$5 million per. And before that, he made 16 per.
I think that's where he thinks he should be.
Right. The other thing was so unrealistic, it got him cut.
Yeah.
But the 16, I think that's make me whole. That's 16.
That's exactly what he's thinking.
Or 15, which is what OBJ got.
You're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And well, in his mind, I'm better than OBJ, and he came off with 2 ACLs.
16.
Yeah. Bro.
Which
we different style players, but I'm getting in the Hall of Fame. Is he? A lot of people say his name may, but he ain't getting in. Not at this rate. Hopkins got a heck of a resume, which is bigger and longer. He's a Hall of Fame player.
Coach Mack is happy somewhere. This deal has gotten out to 6-0 TCU over Oral Roberts in the 5th. The Oral Roberts dream may be coming to an end. The pitcher just spiked his glove
in the dugout.
Yeah, rough time for.
I love his locks, though.
ORU, the guy does have Lucas-like locks, that's for sure. It's time for the locks of 3HL. They'll lock you in until 6 o'clock and then get you the rest of the way home on this wet Tuesday. But as for us, we got to go.
But in the meantime,
in between time, peace.